Good morning, people. Watch Woman 65. Lisa Boyce here. I have something that is circulating on Fox News. Okay. First of all, I want to thank all my new subscribers. I want to thank everyone for supporting and praying for me. I do the same for you every day. I want to let you know that I'm feeling better. I am feeling better. Getting there. The medication that they had me on was really, it just knocked me out. But nevertheless, I'm okay. Um, I wanted to come on with this article off of Al Jazeera. It says that the U.S. presses China on coronavirus after lab reports. Now, I'm going to say something about this. I've been telling people in my videos that this is manufactured. Tim Henderson has been saying that he's had visions of this virus that was manufactured in the labs. So they're saying they're just now finding this out. Trump is just now finding this out after a phone call, after he didn't have phone call on top of phone call with President Xi over in China, telling everybody how a great guy he is. They're all in this together. Okay, this article says that the United States stepped up its pressure on China over coronavirus pandemic with President Donald Trump saying his administration was trying to determine where the deadly disease originated from. They knew it wasn't from the wet markets in China, even though they have them. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also called on Beijing to come clean on what it knows. At a White House news conference yesterday, Trump was asked by John Roberts on Fox News. I was looking right at it. The reports of the virus escaping from the laboratory in Wuhan, where the coronavirus first appeared. He said that we're doing a very thorough examination of this horrible situation that happened, he said. Now, listen to this. Now, I'm not knocking Trump. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just looking at the facts here. He was just talking about how great a guy Xi was. President Xi of China. Trump was talking about how great a guy this guy was a few weeks ago. Asked if he had raised the subject in his conversations with Chinese President Xi, Trump said, I don't want to discuss what I talked to him about the laboratory. I just don't want to discuss it. It's inappropriate right now. That's what he said. At least 136,000 people around the world have now died from the disease. In my personal opinion, I think that number is way higher than that, with almost 31,000 in the U.S. alone. I think it's way higher than that. More than 2 million people have been diagnosed with the virus, while at least 500,000 have recovered. Trump's top diplomat, Pompeo, meanwhile told Fox News after Trump's news conference, listen to this, we know that this virus originated in Wuhan, China, and noted that the Institute of Virology was only a handful of miles from the market where people first came down with the disease. They had said a few months ago, if you're listening to this news conference and what they're saying, they said a few months ago, they know where the virus came from. They didn't mention anything about wet markets. I'm just saying, I pay attention. I try to pay attention. We really need the Chinese government to open up and explain exactly how this virus spread, which they're not. China's a communist country. They torture people over there. Look at the doctors that tried to come forth about this disease. All of a sudden, they disappeared. Give me a break already. You're dealing with a bunch of communists. They're not going to come clean with anything, except try to blame us for bringing the virus over. Remember that? The Chinese government needs to come clean, he said. Yeah. The state-backed Wuhan Institute of Virology dismissed reports that the virus may have been artificially synthesized. at one of its laboratories or escape from its facilities as far back as February. China's foreign ministry noted on Thursday the World Health Organization has said there is no evidence coronavirus was made in a lab. Now, the World Health Organization and the UN are all part of this. Figure it out now. They're all part of this. This is all part of the beast system. This is all part of the Antichrist system. It's coming down the pike right now. I said it before and I'll say it again. I say this every day. Look to Christ to return and take us home. Anytime now. I'm not setting a date. I'm just telling you. The wedding supper of the Lamb is at hand. We are about to go home. Too much is happening. So much is happening now. It's unbelievable. Prophecy is coming off the pages of the Bible, literally, and it's happening right now as we speak. The World Health Organization that Trump has stopped funding, that the Democrats and the rest of the people are upset about, is coming down the pike. The World Health Organization and the United Nations are part of each other. I'm just saying, keep a lookout. China's foreign ministry noted Thursday, like I said, there is no evidence of the coronavirus made in a lab. That's what the World Health Organization had came out with. Ministry spokesman Lei Hin told reporters in Beijing that World Health Organization officials have said multiple times there is no evidence that the coronavirus was created in a lab. The World Health Organization knew darn well what was going on. Trump and Pompeo comments followed by the Associated Press news agency report, which blamed Chinese authorities for failing to immediately disclose information about the human-to-human transmission of the virus, also known as COVID-19, which allowed the virus to spread beyond Wuhan. Fox News claimed on Wednesday, give me a minute. Fox News claimed on Wednesday that the virus originated in a Wuhan laboratory as part of China's effort to demonstrate that its efforts to identify and combat viruses are equal to or greater than the capabilities of the United States. This report and others have suggested the Wuhan lab where virology experiments took place and lacked safety standards there led to someone getting infected and appearing at a nearby wet market where the virus began to spread. Trump and other American officials have also been expressing deep skepticism about China's officially declared death toll. You think? On Wednesday, the president returned to the subject, saying the United States has more cases because we do more reporting. He said, do you really believe those numbers in the vast country called China? That they have a certain number of cases and a certain number of deaths? Does anybody really believe that? Well, in my opinion, before you get up there and say that, and like, again, I'm not knocking Trump. I like him. But when he says stuff like this, he shouldn't have said a few weeks ago prior that him and Xi are best friends, are friends. I'm just saying. Scientists are still trying to determine the source of the virus, although the broad scientific consensus remains that COVID-19 originated in bats, which is not true. It might have been, but please. This was originated in a lab on purpose. On Tuesday, General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, said that the U.S. intelligence indicated that the coronavirus probably occurred naturally as opposed to being created in a Chinese laboratory. I'm going to leave the description of this article in the description. I'm going to leave the article in the description box. You comment, by all means. And just keep the faith. I report this stuff so we can look up. Because every time this happens, stuff like this happens, and I've said it before, we're on our way out. We're on our way out of here. I'm not giving you bad news to say, oh my God, it's just getting so bad. It's just getting so bad. No. The worse it gets, the more we look up. God has not appointed us to wrath, and we are protected. I'm living proof of that. I was in the hospital just last week with symptoms of COVID-19. Now, whatever happens, God is going to be with us. But we are not appointed to wrath. We look up and we look for the rapture. That's what we are told to do. Matter of fact, it's in 2 Timothy 4:8, either 1 Timothy or 2 Timothy 4:8. It says, those who love his appearing will receive a crown. Strive for the crown. Look for his appearing to take us home. That's what we look for. In the meantime, I will be back later if anything else comes up. Have a nice morning.